Fishing Florida Radio's webisodes are brought to you by Mosquito Creek Outdoors, your gateway to the outdoors. Hells Bay Boatworks, makers of the world's finest flat skiffs. Tackle Webs, clear your deck for battle. Mudhole, rod building and tackle supplies. Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there.
Hi, I'm Shay Baker, and weekend anglers should always slow down. Whenever you get in that area and you get a few bites, slow down. A lot of people blow through areas too often, and if you just slow down and pick it apart, you catch a lot more fish.
My name's J. Todd Tucker. I'm from Moultrie, Georgia, and for weekend anglers to be more successful, I would say be more versatile.
I've been around a lot, and I've seen a lot of people fishing and been in the boat with a lot of people. And probably one of the biggest keys to being a little bit more successful would be, positioning your bait. And a lot of people just, refuse to put it in the thick stuff. They kind of get to the edges and they don't want to get hung, and so they refuse to put it where the bass really are. And don't worry about getting hung, worry about getting the fish on, and that's probably the best tip I can give you. Get in it, hook them, hang on, you'll probably get him out.
Hi, I'm Hunter Schrock. The best thing to do is just to get out there and really practice and try new things. I think a lot of times people get in the position stuck on what they caught fish on the day before, and the best thing to do is go out and try new things. My brother's always got me out there trying different techniques all the time, and that's about the only way you're going to get better at something, is really put the rod in your hand with that technique and stick with it all day.
Well, you got to put the time in on the water. I go early in the morning, and I stay late in the evening, and I fish really hard. And I'm a pattern fisher. I do a lot of different things. If I start off with the top water, then I'll go to a worm, then I'll go to a spinnerbait. I try to change areas and change my patterns quite often. And it's important to don't just stay in one spot. Just kind of really move around.
I'm professional angler Chad Morgan Taylor, and what I think that weekend anglers can do to just become better fishermen is you got to stay on the water and keep an open mind. Those are the two things. Experience, time on the water, that means everything. And don't just fish the same way every time you go out there. Adapt to the conditions and try different things, and it will definitely make you a better angler.
I'm Greg Hackney, and probably one of the biggest mistakes that weekend anglers make is going back and fishing the same water over and over again. And, really, every time they go to their lake, it's a different day. They should fish it like a place they've never been before. Keep an open mind. Never get locked into one area like that's my favorite point, that's my favorite tree. And never get locked into one technique like I like to worm fish. Just keep an open mind. It's the biggest reason that when our tournaments go to a place, it's seldom ever won the way the locals thought it would be won, because our bunch just, they don't have that. They can catch them anyway. So they do things that the fish have never seen before.
Hey, I'm Bassmaster Elite Series Pro Jeff Creed. If there was one thing that I could say probably to a local guy to be better is I see a lot of locals that they fish the same thing day in and day out. Learn your seasonal patterns, that's a biggie. You can cover a lot of water and then slow down when you start getting bites. I know on this lake, I see guys and I watch them. I see them fishing the same thing for 4 hours and I never see them catch anything. When you're on Lake Okeechobee, if you're not catching them, move around the corner.
Hey, I'm Elite Series Pro Marty Robinson, and the best advice I can give you for a weekend angler to be more successful is really put a lot of time in on the water, and the more time in on the water, the better you're going to become as far as adapting to the conditions. And that's probably the number one deal, is adapting to the conditions every day or every hour sometimes. The fish are constantly changing. In order to keep catching, you've got to adjust.
Hi, I'm Jeff Holland, Bassmaster Opens Pro, and the average angler can really improve his catch by slowing down and fishing a little slower sometimes. Like today when the wind died, had to slow down in the same areas I was catching them when it was cloudy, and that's probably the best tip I can give you.
Hey guys, I'm Bassmaster Elite Series Pro Britt Myers, and the number one thing that the weekend angler does wrong, in my opinion, is they don't cover enough water. In an 8-hour tournament, if you move around enough and you just cover enough water, usually something magical happens, whether that's a 2 to 3 bite moment or a 20 fish moment, but just cover more water and you'll be more productive.
Hey guys, Russ Lane here, Bassmaster Elite Series Pro. One particular thing that I think the weekend guys can really do is to help you catch more fish is to simplify. Try not to get caught up in a lot of this and a lot of that and a lot of dock talk. Put your boat in the water, look at the conditions, look at the water, look at the temperature, look at the sky, and do what all those variables tell you to do. Keep it simple and make a plan and just stick with it. And that works for me most of the time. So that would be my best advice.
Hey man, my name's Cliff Prince. I'm from Lake Okeechobee Florida up here, and in my opinion, a weekend angler that needs to be more successful, they need to slow down. A lot of times, the guys that don't fish a lot, they don't have the patience it takes to slow down and really get the big bites. That's my suggestion, is just slow down and kind of take it in and really pay attention to the small things.
Hi, I'm Bernie Schultz from Gainesville, Florida. My best advice to a weekend angler is slow down and be thorough. Too many guys, they just kind of fish haphazardly down the bank. You got to detail the cover as it comes to you and make sure you make 2 or 3 casts. If it looks promising, there's probably a fish on it.
I think a lot of guys need to move around a lot more. I see a lot of guys that don't fish very much. They kind of go back to the same areas all the time. And I think if they would expand on things and try different techniques and change things up every time they go fishing, they'll be a lot better angler.
Hi, I'm Elite Series professional boy Ducket. One of the things that anglers, especially amateur anglers, I notice could do a better job of, and that's keep your boat moving. On those tough days when you're not getting bites, if you'll go to a tournament weigh-in, somebody's always catching them. And I notice that guys are bad about sitting in an area and slowing down and trying to catch them. And really on those tough days, that's when that boat needs to be moving. And if you keep looking, you'll probably find some that'll help you move up in points.
So were you south? How far south were you?
How I started this morning was I noticed as I was running out, I saw the Jasper transmission boat right on the side, so I went just around the corner where he couldn't see me, and I started right there. And I'm going to tell you, one of the smartest moves I've made this week.
No wonder I only caught you down through there.
Yeah, once you got around that bend, there was something missing.
It dried up.